Hi guys, welcome back to Prophecy Unfolding. It's so good to be here with you guys. I'm doing this slightly different. I was going to do this live, but I just said I'd do it this way, just so I can get the information done. I'm going to try to compact this into 8 minutes, just to give you as much information as possible. Now it's kind of mind blowing. I've been digging into this for a while now, and the deeper I go down the rabbit hole, the more shocking it becomes to me. And you'll ask yourself the question, how are they doing this? Now we can understand how they're getting away with the things that they're getting away with at the moment, what we see going on in the world. I'm going to use lingo and just point to things, guys. I'm hoping you kind of catch what I'm trying to say without actually verbally saying it. But what I'm going to do is to show you the web and how they have full control, but also what I feel the next phase is from the things that I've actually seen from the last while, actually looking into this. To get straight into it, guys, most of you probably know, obviously with everything that's going on at the moment, the three kind of big major players at the moment and all this, which you would probably know. But what I want to do is to tie this together. Now at the face of it, we know who this man is, and I feel he's the face of all of this. But what I want to do is, many of us have questioned the things that's been going on with this, but I want to show you where the protection is and why that protection is. So we know that this man is a massive investor within this company and this company. In 2019 he bought 55 million worth of shares back in March 2019, before anything had happened. Coincidentally, things came along and now those shares are astronomical in terms of their worth. The same with this one. One of the biggest it's ever sold is the one that's currently on market at the moment in history. It's the fastest and quickest one to be sold. But they're the small things that I wanted to show. The major kind of thing in play here with these are probably three of the bigger companies in the world. The one company that you'll always see here is a company called Vanguard Corporate, and sometimes you'll see BlackRock also. And guys, you can go check this out. You can get all these answers online. But these are the two major players. With this one, it's an asset management company with a huge amount of investors. But when you actually look into the company itself, it's held up with about 4,000 major investors. Now, when you look at these three, this one is a major investor. It's actually one of the top 5 investors in all. But the thing of what we see happening today, guys, and why there's so much protection and why this conversation is so one-sided when we're seeing all the platforms. When you look at this, which is majority, a good chunk of the shareholder is here, but also what we call fact checkers, they own 90% of them. So we'll see it gets worse and worse and worse. These companies, you know, guys, obviously we have Google, YouTube, Facebook, media. Vanguard is also a major investor and shareholder within the three. Also, News Corporation, which is Rupert Murdoch, which most of you probably know, they're quite big here in terms of channel Sky News. I know in the US you have Fox News and other news channels. They are also major shareholder within the News Corp as well, which means the web just gets thicker and thicker. So why would this information go out about here? It will be a conflict of interest because they have investments on each side of the wall, so it's fully protected. Now this man is what I call the face of the whole kind of institute. It's not one person in control, it's a conglomerate, which we know, but this man is the face of it. Like him alone is one of the biggest donators to BBC, which is a major news network here and in the UK. But also this, which I'm sure you know, he's one of the top 3 to this organisation. He actually gives more than most countries do. There's only 2 that outweigh him. I think it's the UK and someone else that outweigh him. He's one of the top donators to them. Also, the thing I see going forward, and most of us know this whole thing of the kind of food shortages, etc., and everything else, or the thing what we call the green agenda. If you look here, most of us know the World Economic Forum is one of the major donators as well to these, which is the guy is, I think this is how you spell his name, Klaus Schwab, which most of you know, which does all the green, what we call the green agenda, and talks a huge amount on climate. But the worrying thing going forward is with this man has signed, or is an agreement, and you can find this online with the UK. He's going to actually be one of the main investors in the UK for green technology. And you'll see that interview with him and Boris Johnson online as well, which means when it happens, when it comes into play, something has to happen in order to speed this up. He's going to be one of the first investors when this actually takes place, and it's all to do with trying to bring the cost of technology down in terms of the green technology, as they phrase it. But he also will be the main one, and he also is backed up by this. It all interlinks and ties together. Ask the question, why is he doing this with the green? And yet in the US he has 262k acres of farmland. He now has the most of anybody in the US when it comes to the farmland. Now we have to ask ourselves these questions. What is it that they're going to do? We see what's happening at the moment, that they have so much tied up, then they have their protection, so nothing can get in or out. It's their narrative, it's going to always be their narrative. Then we can see where all the finance goes and how they're protected on all sides. This is what we call the web of control. You know, some of us look up at the pyramid, and this is kind of how it works. You have the world population, which is 95%, if not more. Then you have the elites who are full control of monies in and out, all major resources, finance, food, everything. But the top of that, the main ones in here answer to this, which I would class as being Satan. But this whole thing is kind of give you a better view. There's so much protection, nothing can get in and get out. And then when I looked into this, now I see why it couldn't, and we see all of the kind of the things that's going on in terms of people being silenced, etc. It's because the penetration is too hard. They are protected. They cannot go against this because it'd be a conflict of interest, because they own all the major, what we call kind of media platforms or news platforms. So they're not going to let anything get in or out. Now this may look overwhelming, and I feel this is the face of everything that's happening. The green agenda is the main thing. And then as I prayed and thought about this, I think the next major thing to happen is to get the ball rolling. Something huge or catastrophic in terms of what we call a natural disaster could be down the line, which will fast track this. And nothing will surprise me after seeing all of this. They will do what they have to do in order to get their plan going. Now, if I finish up on this, as you can see, I'm going to give you another picture of it, just so you can look through yourself. All of this can be found, guys, if you do a little bit of digging and a little bit of study. You'll find with these, if you look at who the investor is in these, Vanguard, BlackRock and a few other investors, but these are the biggest on the planet. Regardless of all the stuff that these guys are doing, regardless of the things that they may manipulate and control, and you go down the rabbit hole, God is always in control. Now we as believers, and me sometimes myself, sometimes can run on the flesh side and can get irritated or protest, etc. There's only so much we can do. This is all part of the agenda. All of this is going to lead up to that time period when one person, which we call the Antichrist, will rule them all, and technology is going to come into this. We see it all the time. People are talking about technology. It's increasing, and that will all tie in. It's a short video, guys. I just wanted to get it out to show you the information. Do a little bit of digging yourself, and you'll actually find all of this information yourself. Remember, regardless of what goes on in the world and the whole web of control that they have, or the illusion of power that they may think they have, God is always in control. And remember, keep the faith.